Hey guys, it's Nicole, and I'm going to make another card for you today. Okay, I basically prepped everything, and I'm going to just show you some of the products we're going to use. First is the 6x6 paper pad from My Mind's Eye called My Favorite Things, and it has some girl and boyish colored patterns in here, and I used a little bit of each, but I was going for a more feminine girly card. You can see I kind of hacked it up to bits. So that's that. And then we're going to use the Pure Innocence Girl right here. That's from the Being Cute Is What I Do set. But we're going to use a sentiment from this one that says, with lots of love, hugs, and kisses. So both of those will be used. Let me just open this up so I'm ready to go. And then, let's see, what else oh, I wanted to show you the dies that I'm using. This is from Paper Tray Dynamics MFT, and it's called Tag Your It. And I stamped the little girl on this on some Nina cardstock, or Gina K cardstock. I used this Ticket Tab die. And I also used this flower die called Prima Donna Petals. So, okay, let's get started. My base is going to be a 5.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock that opens like this from Paper Tray Ink. And the first thing that I'm going to do is work on my little girl here. I already colored her skin and hair. I don't even know if I'm in camera or not. But now I'm just going to add her pants and her shirt that I've already paper pieced together here. So I use a Zig 2-way glue pen. That's what I've always used for paper piecing, unless they're really tiny pieces, and then I use my little sticker maker, my Xyron. So we're just going to put that in there. And then each leg here of her pants, and I just use paper from the paper pack to paper piece this. I'm still getting used to, guys, since this is only my second card on camera, just like, you know, making sure I'm in frame, that I'm not using my head to block it, just things like that that you don't think about when you're just the stamp set has like a little stitch die that goes around the edges. So I just want to ink this up using Pink Grapefruit by Versamagic, which is one of my favorite colors of ink that I own. So just like that, and then I just want to make a simple border. Around the edges. I just think it finishes off the tag a little. I will eventually add a little bit of ribbon. Then we're going to work on the front of the card. And the first thing that I'm going to do is, this is Lemon Tart Paper Tray Ink paper cardstock, and then I'm going to just post it. That looks good. And then this little piece is going to go over here, and our, actually, I want it like this so that more of the design is on this side. And then I'm going to layer this piece on top of here. Put that right on top. And then this is the little tab that I'm going to be adding the sentiment on, and that's going to go up here. But first I'm going to ink the edges a little bit with charcoal ink in Color Box and my little thing here. I just think that way it doesn't get lost in the background. And I think it's about time for me to either get an ink refill or a new pad of this. It seems to be drying out. I've had it for about 3 years. Okay. And then I'm actually, instead of stamping the sentiment with this color, I'm going to just stamp it with black ink. And it's going to be that with lots of love, hugs, and kisses. And these Pure Innocence stamp really good. So let me just scoot that up and this over here. And we will just line that up. There we go. Then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive down the edge here. And I was trying to decide whether I wanted to do stitching of this over here. And I think I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll do that on a future card just for the sake of time. And then this is going to adhere to the card kind of like that. I wanted it on a little bit of an angle. It's going to go just like that. And then this is going to go right over here. But first, we're going to take that Prima Donna die, and I cut out, I'm not sure which flowers and stuff I want to use, and then I also need to just grab, because we're going to put a brad in the center, so I always pierce on this. So I've already glued these together to make the actual dimensional flower. Just goes like that. And then this one sits right on top of that one. Let me just add a little bit of tape here. I have my Martha Stewart craft mat underneath here in case you were wondering. And it goes just like that, and you can kind of, I'm going to ink the petals a little bit just for some dimension using the very same ink I just used. And I'm not going to go too crazy with it, just to add a little bit of color. I've not worked with this flower in a while, so I kind of have to like fuss with it to get it the way I want. There we go. I want this. I think I want these to come out kind of like that, and then this to go right there. So I add a little bit of adhesive here, but I don't add it all the way across the leaf because I like to curl the edge up a little bit like that. And you can just maneuver it with your fingers. So that one's going to go right there. And if you're ever mailing this card instead of giving it in person, it's not to say you can't make these flat. I just don't originally make them flat because I like them to have a little bit of a curve. And then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue. Okay. You know what? I might need a poke again because I think the hot glue made it a little more difficult to get through. There we go. It looks like I need to add a little bit of hot glue over here as well to really get my flower to stay. I thought it would stay with just that adhesive, but clearly not. And then I need to just shut my brad here. There we go. Let's move this aside and I can kind of fuss with my flower a little bit and get it the way I want it. Don't those little spider webs just irritate you that glue guns create? So I think that looks pretty darn good. So now going back to my little girl here, I think I want to add a little bit of ribbon. And then it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just going to tie it in a bow. that side. There we go. I just gotta figure out how to not get the bow to cover her face completely to me. So now I think I'm going to put this on pop dots. I'm not 100% sure, but you know what? No, I'm going to do it flat, and then I'm going to put glue dots behind the bow to kind of stabilize it a little bit. So I'm just cutting off a glue dot. And then you'll see when I lay this down, I'm going to just put the glue dot right behind here, like that. And I was probably out of frame that whole time, sorry. Like I said, I'm not completely used to this yet. And I just want to poof up this side a little more. There we go. Boy, to really get that out of her face is going to be a challenge. I think that's pretty okay. So that's the front of the card. I like the way that that looks. And now we're going to just work on the inside. Well, we can adhere this real quick. And I'm thinking I want it to open from the side. Yeah, I think that looks good. So I'm going to add some adhesive. Just like that, and now we're going to work on the inside. So the inside, I'm just going to layer some of the Aqua Mist paper tray ink, and of course I ran out of tape runner. And then this is just a piece of the pattern paper. I was like, oh no, don't tell me I'm running out of both. And then I want to stamp I like to do this a lot, which is stamp the little girl a little bit off the edge here so that there's still room to write. So for instance, go just like that. And then you see how she's kind of just coming off the edge there. And I'm not going to put a sentiment. See, I went with lots of love, hugs, and kisses because this could be for a birthday, this could be a thank you, all kinds of stuff. And I didn't really make this for a particular holiday or event, but it's a good card to have on hand. And then I'm going to just center this inside here. And this is, I don't know what labels die this is, but it's this one right here. But this is just going to go right inside the center of here. And I always finish the inside of my cards. That's my own preference. I just think it gives a nice finished look. So then we're just going to line. Alright, and that's the card.